who has been contracted by the Global Fund and AMREF. Therefore, that's the situation we're in until the investigators tell us, yes, at this moment is the time these equipment were moved out. Because what happens is, this is a store where these people, they are manning themselves, picking the equipment from there for doing level 4s, 2 level 4s. They had already finished actually level 4s. Therefore, at any given time, they're the people who are picking those equipments. It's like your boot.
Okay, maybe for clarity, Governor. So, in short, this equipment and the building was still under the hands of the contractor. These are things that have not been handed over to the county government of Kisii.
Precisely, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Senator Onyonga.
Thank you, sir. Your Excellency, thanks for coming. Use the car. Naturally, the first thing you do is to try and look at the CCTV and see whether, one, it actually picked out the pictures of the individual who might have been the one who stole the car. And then, which means then you start what we call the preliminary inquiries about who could this person be, and then you go and report to the DCI, and the DCI then acts once you've done all those things that you're supposed to do. The problem I have, Governor, is that this
is that it's 11th April, you ask, unless by the time when you're asking, you had a brief of it, but is that by 11th, we have known that this.
The point I'm making is the stealing took place in the month of April, and I'm not actually discussing the date because it has no significance. What I'm asking Your Excellency is this. Once I asked the question, then the county government knew that these things had been stolen. When you came in as His Excellency the Governor and you appointed your CEO and everybody, did they keep a record stock of each and every equipment, materials, medicines? Was there a handing over ceremony, for example, for you to have either received equipment which was in the hospital or not, including the vehicles, the ambulances, the doctors, the list of the doctors and all that? Did you get that?
Chair, I want to clarify here what Senator Nyoka is asking. He asked the question on 23rd on the floor of the House. We had already known earlier. Therefore, it's not him who prompted us to go and report.
No, I agree, you knew. I agree.
Yes.
In fact, I said that
Senator Onyonga, allow the governor to respond, and you know you cannot speak to the chair.
no, through the chair. My apologies. Proceed, Governor.
Governor, proceed.
Therefore, Chair, as just indicated, we reported at the time we found out that there was theft. And Chair just indicated that this global fund is a contractor who has come in with these things, contracted by AMREF. We have provided a space. By the time he's going to do catering, that is the time he's selling us, there is no equipment. Therefore, even back in our minds, we are not very sure, is it the contractor or the thieves who came in? Because it was an active site, Chairman.
Governor, let me add you a supplementary question. Do we have now even records whether the equipment were received in the first place?
That's what I was asking, Chair.
Because, and I think, honorable members, we don't want to belabor on that point. We just want clarity so that we can decide our next course of action. If Kisii County Government says they have not been handed over, then I think we shall ask the Global Fund, the contractor, and whoever was there to appear before the committee. Our problem is not whether the equipment was stolen. What we want is to make sure that all the equipment that was intended for use in Kisii County in the various facilities are installed. Then we can allow the others to take their time with the investigation. So in the first instance, because you have procurement officers here and the people who are responsible for the facility, do you have records of what was received and stored in that place in KTRH? Wanna see you because you are here. I think we want to ask the CEO now and the team behind the governor, because these are not tourists to Senate. I'm sure you are also here to respond.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and members. There's a question I was to answer. Which items are these?
Before we go to the items, first let's go to the basic. Were they received? You know, do you have a record? Is there a record in the facility of what entered?
Honorable Chair, these items didn't belong to KTRH. They belonged to the county.
No, just put it, answer too simply. Is there a record within the county or not? If not, then we shall know how to proceed from there.
Yes, they were received by the county. And the contractor was given a place to keep them.
So if we ask you to provide us a copy of the document receiving those equipment, detailing the equipment that were brought in, you will be able to provide.
The document should be available, Honorable Chair.
Thank you very much. So proceed with the second question.
Thank you, Chair. So I actually wanted to ask, essentially, and I think, Chair, you've kind of plodded onto that question. This is what I also wanted either the governor or the CEC to answer. What equipment was it? All right. If you know what the equipment was, I would like to have the record or annexures which are showing that equipment was. Number two, from the records I have, Chair, this equipment was being supplied by donor funding, which came from the Global Fund under the AMREF auspices. After you found out that the equipment had been stolen or had been lost, did you get in touch with AMREF in correspondence so that you ask them whether the equipment which they had brought, they had handed it over officially to KTRH, or was it supposed to be kept at the store, and what that equipment was supposed to do?
Governor, and you can answer that alongside the question of the equipment that was lost.
Chair, allow me to say this, that yes, we know all of us that it's through Global Fund, a partner who was to work with the Kisii County through AMREF, as it were. And it's our statement that indeed the equipment came. We gave them space for the contractor because we were not doing the contractual work. Therefore, the contractor, I'm sure the Global Fund or AMREF is asking the contractor, did you finish doing the work we gave you? He'll be able to answer yes or no because of the theft which occurred. Mr. Chairman, for us, and I want to repeat here for the benefit of the members, it's that this was an active site, and I have said so. It's an active site. These people were given KTRH as one of the places they were to install the equipment. Number two, the two referral hospitals. They had already finished installing in the two facilities. Therefore, they were coming into the third facility, which is KTRH, to do the fixing. That's the time they're telling us that the equipment, they are not there.
Thank you, Governor. The CEO, maybe you can tell us what are the type of equipment that were lost and the number.
Honorable Chair and members, there were oxygen pipes.
Pardon?
Oxygen pipes.
Oxygen pipes. Yes. Okay. Honorable members, I don't know whether there's, maybe we can have first Senator Chimera to go on record.
Thank you, Chair. Apologies for coming late. My name is Senator Raphael Chimera. I come from Kwale County, member of this committee.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Onyonga.
Therefore, I would like to make a recommendation that if the county government and His Excellency the Governor has said that it makes sense for us to then get AMREF International, get the Global Fund team, and I would like to make a request that we summon them here so that, Chair, we can be able to interrogate their involvement, their engagement when they delivered the equipment and what that equipment was supposed to do, and whether they were aware that their contractor is in fact the one who may, okay, they have not said the contractor stole, he says everybody was being seen as a possible person who might have broken the law. So I would like that information to be carried on from here, Chair, on this matter.
Yeah, thank you very much, Senator. I think when the committee retreats, we shall make decisions along those lines. But maybe one final question on that item. So what is the status of installation? Did it stall, or the pipes were replaced and the project was completed? Or were the pipes replaced so that the project continued to completion, or the project stalled because of that problem?
Chairman, it is stalled, especially for the KTRH. For the other two, they finished. It's the KTRH that is stalled because the pipes, they're not there.
Thank you very much. Now, can we move to, that was question 1 and 2 alongside together. We can now move to the next question, and Senator Amida seems to have an issue. Senator?
No, I just had, again, an issue just for clarity's sake, Chair. For question 1, Governor, I'm imagining, in fact, now that these guys were given the premise, and they're the ones who are moving, the equipment. But then I'm also wondering, since he's already said that they received, the county received. But then, of course, now I'm imagining they were given the storage. But then whoever were transacting or moving these equipments were the Global Fund, staff. But I'm just wondering, just the security out of the county itself, what was the lapse? Because as much as, the custodian, or maybe you're given that storage, but then there must be some, should I say, there must be a place where you're indicating things coming in and going out. So the security of the county, because those things were, the integrity of the county is in question here, just because of these equipments, Governor. So just for clarity, is that when they were moving out of the premise of the county itself, was there any checks and balances? Was there anyone taking records of what was going out and coming in? As much as, it was the same Global Fund staff who are doing who are moving out the stuff. But then there must have been another, another eye that was checking on what was this, the movements and the records also.
Senator Onyonga, and that should be the last one on that question. So
yes, sir. In fact, the question I wanted an addendum to what she has said, CEO or Governor. These pipes, were they in a container? Were they in big boxes? Were they in, how were they packaged when you first saw them? Because that would give us the possibility of somebody then, if it was in the container, then the security team in the county government, referral hospital would know, for obvious reasons, that you don't go and pick containers from the hospital without the security or the CEC getting to know about it here. That's the point I was raising.
Thank you. Governor, can we hear from the CEO? Sometimes you are sitting in the office. Why don't we hear from the people on the ground? Then I will allow you to summarize.
Okay.
On that bit, when a CEO. CEO comes also with responsibility. It's a package.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and members. On the question of records on security, first, there are 2 levels of security. We have the Critical Infrastructure Protection Unit, which does take care of the facility, and we have an outsourced security firm. I believe that that's part of what the DCI will review and give us findings. As to how the pipes were packaged, maybe it's a question which we can hear from the contractor, because purely these were items by and for the contractor. We just provided the space.
Chair.
Senator Chimera,
Thank you, Chair.
just one on that, because we were actually winding up.
Sorry, and I came in a bit late. I hope my question won't be repetitive. I'm just wondering, Chair, this statement was issued sometimes on the 17th of April, 2024. And I want to assume and believe that Governor and his team had sufficient time to either prepare for this sitting. If my memory serves me right, you were to come sometime last week, you didn't come. Today you are here. It is shocking that the CEO would actually tell us he has no records before this committee today that indicate whether these equipments were indeed supplied or not. I am shocked that you are telling us you'll provide records later and you had enough time to come. This question, Chair, number one, is a very straightforward question. You just simply tell us how you received it, whether there's the loss or not. Where are your records, surely? I mean, you can't come before this committee without records. Bwana CEO, should we infer that there is more than meets the eye, or the records are indeed there? Because the first thing I would have done as a CEO would be to go to my records. Were they received? Yes. Did they move out? Yes. How? That's the simple question you answer it. But you can't come here and tell us you will provide records later, and that's how you answer the question. Thank you, Chair.
So maybe before Governor comes in, CEO, do you have any response to what Senator Chimera is asking, so that we can allow the Governor to summarize and we move to the next question?
Thank you, Honorable Chair and members. Our preparation were limited to the questions.
Governor, maybe just so that we move to the next question.
To help Senator Chimera, I think the other
CEO, you can switch off your mic so that
is that Senator, you must have come late. You definitely have not grasped everything. Today is that he was answering the question of how they were packaged, that bit of it. But indeed, these were not our equipment. The contractor is the one who was in charge.
Governor, I was present when your CEO said he has no records to table today and that he endeavors to provide those records. That one I had in
Senator Chimera, you know you cannot just switch the mic and speak without going through the chair. So maybe just Governor, please, let's wind up on that.
So that I can wind on
yes,
up on this.
Please.
Chair, there is no record that we were to table here because we don't have that record. And that record is kept by the record. The question that we are answering here is to the question which were raised. And actually, that's the information we are giving. But Mr. Chairman, as just the CEO has just indicated, KTRH, it's a facility which is manned properly. There is SIP, these are police officers. There is the outsourced security team that is manning the place and the CCTVs. Therefore, at no end time, we would expect that there will be a lapse on security. That's why we have said every person is a suspect. The gentlemen who were on site, how they have been moving those things. And that's why the investigation, we hope that the DCI, they'll be able to unravel what indeed happened. Because these people, they have been moving in. We don't know even by the time they have taken pipes to a southern facility, they would have come with pallets from there, or they took more. It's something that stands to be investigated, and hope we'll be able to give their answers at the right time when we have information.
Chair, sorry.
Yes,
with your kind permission. Chair, I'm not satisfied with what Governor is telling us. Governor, are you telling this committee that a contractor can come to Kisii County, supply equipment from a global fund, and none of the officers keeps a record of that supply? Is that what you're saying? Because I heard you saying we have no records.
Governor.
Chair, as it were, and I've just explained myself, the contractor is actively on site. And we only provided the space for him really to put his equipment.
Sorry, Chair, Governor.
And Chair,
Governor,
this is not our contract.
Governor, allow me to cut you short. Chair, please.
Senator
You're
Jimera.
not answering my question, Governor.
Senator Jimera, can you hold your horses?
But you know,
As told your horses,
Chair.
I agree.
He's not
I'll give
answering
you,
the
but
question, Chair.
please, you cannot ask the question before the sentence is halfway. You want, so how? Why don't you allow him to read the end of his response so that you can? Yes, please, Governor, proceed.
Chair, allow me again to repeat to say that the contractor is a contractor who has been contracted by AMREF to do the installation in our facilities. Until then, as we are waiting, leave about even the stealing itself, we were waiting for them to hand over the site to us. Therefore, Chair, as it were, I want to say clearly that we are waiting. After the investigation, we'll be able to really also know how those pipes were stolen from the store that the contractor was in charge of.
Now, Senator Chimera.
Chair, you know, let us not scatter around issues. This is a very straightforward issue, Governor. I am a contractor somewhere. When I'm contracted to offer services, when I deliver my goods, there's somewhere I sign that I've delivered those goods, isn't it? That is what I am asking. Is that record there? Because when you're taking me to DCI, and I tell you I'm a lawyer, I want to think like that DCI officer. What is investigating? If you have no record to say that we received, as a hospital, we received 20 pipes and they are lost, and you're telling this committee there's no record, then what is the DCI investigating? What is this that, Governor, you're trying to run away from? Just tell us. Do you have records or not? I'll be happy that way. Tell me I have no records, I'll keep quiet. Tell me there were records, they got lost, we'll supply.
Chair, I think that answer has been answered. That question has been answered. That there was record. Yes.
Just
and the Chair,
allow the Governor to... I'll make a ruling after this.
Chair,
Governor?
that question was asked, and the CEO answered. The equipment came in, and they were received. There is that record. It's there. And you see...
Senator Chimera, you know you are a member of this committee, and this is not the first appearance of a governor. You know the procedures and how the proceeding should proceed. Please, desist from making comments across the table when you don't have the floor. Governor, do you still have anything on that? Thank you very much. Can we move to the next question, question number 3? If there's anybody with a question on question number 3, that is on the issue of drugs. And I think I'll start you off with questions there, Governor. And my question is, I've seen you procure your drugs to various suppliers, of course. I've seen you also do procure from KEMSA. Why is it that there's a huge pending bill for KEMSA, and some of the bills are as old as more than 200 days, both for the county and KTRH? As a county. Now, other members, you can ask on that. Senator Onyonga.
Thank you, Chair, for giving me the opportunity. Your Excellency, the question I would like to ask you, I don't know whether you saw the annexure of KEMSA. The annexure of KEMSA, which comes in this.
Actually, the governor doesn't have that. That's our document. That's a report from KEMSA.
Thank you.
And maybe for the benefit of Governor, please, if you have a copy, you can supply him.
Thank you, sir.
You can share mine so that...
I wanted to ask our clerk, Honorable Chair, to tell us how much Kisii KTRH Hospital owes KEMSA. Then I will follow with a consequential question.
I don't think we do, and please supply the record. You know, when you're asking, is good for the governor to have. Governor, we have actually, KEMSA appeared before this committee, and in their submission, they submitted that you owe them 59,565,324 and 27 cents. If you go to the breakdown, is you have a debt of 19,319,564 and 27 cents. That is more than 180 days. Around 40 million is more than 20 days. But there's also a bill for KTRH. That's on that document. Kisii level 5, there's a pending bill of 17,740,341.75, and 3 million is more than actually a year. That's not been paid.
Chair, even after looking at this, yes, I want to agree that there are those pending payment to KEMSA. But truth be told is that we have tried to pay. These are debts that we found in office, and there must be a voter heads for drugs. Therefore, Chair, and I want to report, if KEMSA if they came before you, they will tell you we are number one in terms of paying their debts in the whole region. We were awarded number one in essential work. Because he was there in the function, my CC Health, he'll explain on this. And I want to commit that this week, we have already processed 23 million out of that supposed to be paid.
Point of order, Chair.
Just slightly, let him finalize so that, Governor.
Yes, 23 million, which has been processed. 10 million from KTRH. Therefore, we are on the process again of paying. But for this, because we're the best in terms of utilizing that facility of KEMSA, but let it be said by my CC.
CC.
Honorable Chair, sometimes last year.
Maybe for the benefit of members who come late, you can repeat your name so that we know you're dealing with.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Ronald Nyakweba. I'm the CC for Health, Kisii County Government. Sometimes last year, in the month of December, Kisii County was recognized and awarded a trophy by KEMSA as being the best county in Western Kenya region for paying their debts and procuring medicines from KEMSA. So it is not true that Kisii County is not doing business with KEMSA. Kisii County has been the best, and KEMSA has given us a trophy, which, given time, we can be able to produce.
Senator Onyonga.
Chair, at this rate...
CC, please switch off your mic, please.
At this rate, the feeling I have is actually we have nothing to do here. Because the documents we are using are documents that your office has generated. The CEC tells me Kisii County is the best in having paid debts for KEMSA and everything. And the fact is, the truth is exactly the opposite of that. So one of the things I would like to recommend and ask you, Chair, anything that anybody says, whether it's the governor, whether it's CEC Health, whether it's the CEO of KTRH, can it be supported with evidence? Chair, we didn't come here to politicize and say who's doing great work. That's not necessary here. What we are dealing with is a crisis that exists in KTRH, and we are not here as adversaries. We are here on an advisorial capacity. And for me to get the answers the people of Kisii County expect, for me to be able to explain why there are no medicines, these questions, Chair, must be answered. So I would like you to guide so that you allow us, not for Mr. Nyakweba, who's my friend, to come and say how they were given an award and you know they were the best. If you tell him right now, give me the award and the letter saying the same, he'll say he doesn't have. And I've not even talked to him. You see, Chair, I know my people. So I'm pleading with you. can we interrogate this matter? Or if my brother, His Excellency Governor, is not ready with his team, I am free for us to give him more time for him to prepare himself properly, because everything I'm going to ask here is about evidence and data. Nothing else here. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Senator. I will guide that let's interrogate the matter to the end. If we are not satisfied as a committee, we shall give directions on the documents that they need to supply. But even as Governor, you come in, you know, if you say you are best, then it's also good to tell us, so how much debt? Because Governor, in your response, you said you found these debts when you came to office. So maybe the question would be, how much was the debt? Then how much have you paid? And what we have is the balance of what you are paid, what you had paid. I think that would also give us some direction. Senator Onyonka.
Thank you, sir. Before His Excellency speaks, the second question I wanted to, which is linked to what you are raising, my chair. My CEO and maybe the CEC Health and the governor himself, I would want him to deal with the issue, number one, how much medicine has Kisii County government purchased from KEMSA for the last 1.5 or 2 years, in the 2 financial years? Number two, all this money that is supposed to be spent was budgeted for. I would like the governor to tell us how much money he budgeted for these medicines. And indeed, after that, since the medicines were budgeted for, and you know, Chair, under the PFM Act, the first charge every single time that you receive money from the national government or exchequer, the first charge is to pay your pending bills. What pending bills has His Excellency the Governor paid in Kisii KTRH Hospital, and indeed any of the facilities that we have in Kisii? The reason I'm asking this question, Chair, is because the information I have is that there are individuals who are not known to me, but who have talked with me, and they have said some of them supplied these medicines 6 months ago, 1 year ago, and they've never been paid. And individuals who supplied medicines a month ago have been paid, and some who did 3 months ago, they've been paid. So I'm trying to really find out whether Governor has streamlined the effects of the payments and the pending bills that exist within his health sector. And number two, whether KEMSA is still supplying medicines to Kisii Referral Hospital. And Governor has said that in fact he has got money that he is going to pay to KEMSA. How I wish he would have brought an RTGS or the whatever system they use to show that he has actually paid that money, so that I'm able to have a clear picture on what to do in terms of why we do not have medicines in KTRH Hospital.
Thank you, Senator. Before Governor responds, let me also say this, Senator. As much as we also want to oversight counties, but I think when they do well, it's good to acknowledge. You know, if they got a trophy, they got a trophy. We
Through you, Chair, just give the evidence.
Just a minute.
I'm asking for evidence.
Just a minute, Governor.
Yeah.
You know, it is not that our counties are 100% not working, you know, so we can ask them for evidence, but I think there's nothing absolutely wrong if they say they have been recognized for that matter. However, Governor, what Senator is asking is very valid, the clarity of that. And I think he has introduced another aspect of suppliers. I know there's a document you supplied us here with a list of suppliers. Probably my supplementary question would be, of those in that table, are there those that are pending bills? Are there pending bills that are beyond 6 months that have not been paid? And are they part of what is going to be paid? Governor.
Chair.
I think let's allow him to respond because the questions will be too many.
No, I'm not asking.
We allow you to, Okay, Senator Amida.
Sorry, just a supplementary to that. Chair, if this data is correct, or the KEMSA, they are saying between 181 to 270 days, they only had a debt of 19,319,000. But then when it comes to over 118, 25 days, they had nil. Yet others, you may find, of course, had of course, other debt. So far, their slate is clean on over 1825. And only over 181, 270 days, they have 19 million. So I'm imagining if the governor said that they have processed, is it a bill of how much? So far you have processed. Is it that it's going to clear the debt? Because so far their debt is 19,319,000 on this data, looking at the data.
Okay, Governor.
Through you, Chair, please make a correction on what she's saying. The debt is actually close to 60-something, 54 million.
No.
Clarify that, Chair. Clarify that.
The clarification is this, Senator Onyonka. The total debt is 59 million, but KEMSA has provided depending on the age of the debt. So the 19 million is the one that is beyond 180 days. If you add the rest, it will total up to that 59. What Senator Amida is asking is whatever is in process, Governor, is it going to clear that old arrears of more than 180 days? Governor?
Chair, I believe that that's a bit of what is going to clear the old debt. And as we are getting more drugs again from KEMSA, therefore it is ongoing again debt that will be there, which we endeavor to pay. Chair, I want to confirm to you that there is no crisis in my level 5 in terms of supply of drugs. That one, 100%. For evidence, Chairman, for the award, because it was brought and even there is a certificate, I can produce it. But Chair, when again we are discussing this document, we are only seeing it now. How I wish we had it earlier. Would have provided that information that so much is required by the Senate, as it were. Therefore, Chairman, if you give us again a date and get this information, we'll provide. We came in prepared on the questions that you had asked. Yes, supplementary questions can be answered as long as they are again in line of the information we have. We'll definitely provide. Chairman.
There was a question that has not been answered. Where is your list of questions? I just remembered and that's also skipped my mind. Yes, in fact, there's your question. I just remembered, Governor, before you to ask another supplementary question, they asked that clarify and explain what is this revolving drug fund and how it works. Yes, that's the question.
Allow me to give the CEO to explain how it works.
Thank you, Chair and members. The revolving drug fund is a concept that is meant to ring-fence monies for drugs, so that once you inject in a budget for drugs, that money keeps growing to ensure that there is consistent availability of drugs in the hospital. So for KTRH, this is a concept introduced within the amenity wing.
Chair,
Senator Nyotu?
related to that, so CEO, you are saying that you set aside some amount of money every year. You take it to the revolving fund. Is that what you submitted?
Yes, Chair. This is a concept that we have introduced this current financial year.
Okay, Chair, I wanted to know how much they have built it to, but if he says that they have just started the fund, then my question becomes gets answered, Chair. And Chair, if you allow me, there was also the question on why they do not get all their supplies from KEMSA, because I would want to believe that KEMSA will bring cost savings to the people of Kisii instead of buying from these other chemists and suppliers that are on the list. Could it be because you do not want to clear KEMSA's debt? What informs this decision, Governor, to procure from other agencies other than KEMSA? That is a question that I had also asked, Chair.
Governor?
Chair, thank you. I want to say the first charge, all order we do to KEMSA. Then anything that KEMSA does not have is what we go ahead to procure from these other suppliers. Ordinarily, what happens is KEMSA, out of 100% that we, with the request or requisition we put before them, they almost every time they have only 30%. Therefore, they come back asking that they don't have those drugs. We go ahead to procure them from other suppliers, as it were. On the evidence, you can check on the Annex A. We are provided in there, Mr. Chairman.
Any other? Senator Onyonka?
Thank you, Chair. Your Excellency and your CEO, the question I want to ask is, when you're purchasing the medicines, do you use exchequer which is budgeted for by the Assembly, and then you allocate the funds for the purchase of those medicines, or do you use own source revenue, which is generated from the hospital, and that is KTRH? And Chair, as a closing question, I would like to know from His Excellency Governor, for the financial year 2023-2024, that would actually start from, let me say, 2023 financial year up to 2024. What has been the own source revenue that the KTRH has collected for this financial year? And if you can help me and your people understand, Your Excellency Governor, I don't know whether you have any annexures, but if you don't, you could provide them. And what was being collected before you took over as the governor? In other words, we are trying to compare. Did you increase the collection of the revenue or did it decline? Thank you.
Before Governor answers, Senator Ledama, can you go on record?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, let me apologize for being late. We were with you. Narrow County was appearing, so I had to be there. My name is Ledama Olekina, Minority Whip, Senator Narrow County, and a member of this committee.
Yes, Governor.
Chair, thank you. I want to answer the three questions that Senator Onyonka has just asked. I want to say that, Chair, KTRH runs its budget. Actually, yearly there is a budget for KTRH. And from it, most of the times when they don't have enough money, that they can be able to ask the executive to put more money. As we are talking right now, Mr. Chairman, KTRH is a standalone facility. There is an act which was passed recently by the Assembly and have signed into law. There is an act now they are running. We expect that in the future, the facility to run its business as it were. Chair, the question that Senator Onyonka asked, I want to report here. When I came to the office, Chairman, the facility was collecting 47 million per quarter. That was the revenue, the sales that they were doing. Chair, I came in and made some changes, and those changes I I removed the CEO who was there, brought in the new CEO, who since then, Mr. Chairman, has improved the sales of KTRH from 47 million to 200 million. Save for the time the doctors and clinicians went on strike, that's the time now we came back actually to what they were correcting earlier. But as it were, Chair, we moved from 47 cells to 200 million. And there is an impact of it, the fact that we were correcting that much. Chairman, is a record which I believe that we can be able to get from the CEO. We used to lose 50% of newborns in that facility within 24 hours. Therefore, 50%, if there were newborns 100, 50 would die. Within 24 hours, we used to lose 23 to 25 people, no more deaths. But since then, when we came in and we have effected that disciplined chair and save that you came to that facility, I can tell you there is a record of a day we would not lose a patient, which has never happened. Chair, today we can lose no more deaths, around 3 to 7. For the infants, it has reduced from 50%, we are doing around 15 to 17, because again, other factor remaining constant. This is a facility, Chair, God willing, if by the end of the time, it's the only facility we have as a referral hospital for both, that is our neighboring counties, Homa Bay, Migori, part of Narok, Kericho, Bomet, and Nyamira. That's their facility. And we must be able to make sure that facility works. Thank you, Chair.
Senator Onyonka, just a minute. Has Senator Nyotu's question been answered?
Yes, Chair. I am waiting for us to go to question number 4.
Thank you very much. Senator Onyonka.
Thank you, sir. One of the, I hope, Chair, the recommendations you make is that information that the governor has given could also be tabled, because the records do exist and there is a way on how you can tabulate the newborns, how many there were, what period, and all that stuff. I think it's important we have those facts, including the general deaths. The only thing my governor did not do, he did not tell me the money that he spent for the purchase of drugs, whether it's coming from the normal budgetary allocations, or does he then, as he mentioned it, he said that there's a possibility sometimes when the facility doesn't have the medicines, then they will talk to the executive. I would like to know actually how those payments are made, and especially, Chair, whether, I'm sure, Governor, you know that you have the FIF fund. The FIF fund, and your CEO knows, is the amount of money that the county assembly passed a bill where they recommended at one time that all the level 3 and 4, I think, Chair, when you were governor, you must have had this, where all the facilities were supposed to keep the amounts of money which they collect at the local level, and so that they can begin to deal with the issues that are outstanding. I want the governor to explain to us whether that fund has also been part and parcel of what he uses to purchase the drugs. And finally, Chair, Kisii County, the donor community has been very, very magnanimous to the county, and Danida is one of the, other than AMREF, is one of the agencies that has been supporting Kisii County government and indeed KTRH with funding and provision of equipment. I would like the governor to explain to this committee whether they have funded any purchase of medicines or equipment for KTRH. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor.
Chair, allow me to ask my CEO to respond on the issue of, because I did mention earlier on the budgetary allocation. Yes, we do budget for the whole county health issues, not necessarily for KTRH. KTRH, they are running their own budget for even drugs. But for that reason, let him explain, and they can be able to tell us if the NIDA has put in any of funding into drugs purchasing.
Honorable Chair and members, KTRH takes care of its own budgets. So the own source revenue is what we use to budget drugs, at least for the last 1 year. But before, it was hybrid. Honorable Chair and members, Danida doesn't support KTRH. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, honorable members, if we don't have any additional questions on that, we can move to the last question. That is on the issue of insurance and medical cover for staff. I think the information has been provided there. If we have questions, and I think there's a question that was asked by Senator Newton on that question number 4. Clerk, maybe it's good to, we have asked so many questions. Senator Newton asked, the insurance covers Kisii County executive staff. And he was asking, so who covers the other staff? Or what do you mean by county executive staff, Governor?
Thank you, Chair. For Senator Nyotu, is that all the staffs, that's how we are classified them, that the executive is all staff, the 5,736 already have been captured. Therefore, we provide the cover for the 5,736.
Chair, thank you. Then I think it's an issue of Chair of semantics, because when we say that everybody who works in the Kisii County government is an executive officer, then, but well, maybe that is how Kisii County.
Chair, maybe just clarity, if you allow me.
Senator Ledamo?
Yeah, Governor, this would be very interesting. So you provide insurance cover to every member of staff of Kisii County.
Is it, Chair? Yes.
Good. So how many are there?
5,736.
So if I divide the 202 million 5,000, it means that this insurance company is giving you a cover which includes both inpatient and outpatient of about 40,000 shillings.
Yes, Chair, and it's for the, not even for the employees alone, even for their families.
I would love to know the insurance cover, because it will be interesting, because the way this question has been answered, to help us when it comes to report writing, it will be important, Governor, for you to give us details, because when I'm looking at it, there are some who are getting inpatient of 10 million, 5 million, 2.5, 2 million. So that 1.5 up to 750, depending on the job group. So that means this insurance computed everything and just gave you an overall figure of 2.2 million. Or was it based on each category?
Chair, if you check that,
Governor.
Chair, if you check that table there, it gives every category, every job group. If you check job group number 1, that's the governor. Number 2, that's the deputy. Number 3, it is CECs. Job group R to T. Those are categories up to A and J. Therefore, not a rough figure for all the staff members. Chair.
Could I?
Yes. Senator Nyonka?
There's a document I would like to table, Chair.
There is a document being tabled by the Senator for Kisii.
Yes.
Point of order, Chair.
I just wanted to know.
Senator Chimero?
Is that how we do it?
Exactly. I think Ledama is really...
The reason I'm tabling this is because the question...
Point of order, Senator.
Senator Onyonga. Senator Chimera is on a point of order.
Chair, I'm just concerned, principles of natural justice. I'm just concerned if the good senator, and he's my friend, he wants to table certain documents, would that then not be prejudicial to the governor here? He has not had a chance to even look through the document, and I'm trying to imagine, I'll be his lawyer today, I'm trying to imagine what he will tell us on that document. Chair, I'm opposed to tabling on that document, Chair.
Chair,
the Senator Onyonga.
How I wished that Honorable Chimera would have allowed me to state what that document says, then you can make the ruling. Sometimes experience does help. Thank you, Chair. The document I'm tabling, if you're Honorable Ledama, you look, this is the business daily of the date, Daily Nation Media. All right, of the date, Tuesday, January 2024. And I would like to hand over. And Chair, I would like to say very, without a doubt, that the reason why this question, I was able to ask it on the floor of the House, was because the county employees of Kisii County kept on sending me messages and saying how the insurance company does not work, how many of them have gone to hospitals and their payments are not being made, and how many of them were actually kicked out of NSSF. Now we have SHIF, and they found themselves with a company called Trident. On that page, if you go to paragraph 4, Chair, Trident is a company that was late in the submission of claims, returns that show premiums received and claims paid out as provided for in law. It also failed to pay claims and was so late in submitting the premiums to levy returns. As a result of this, Trident was actually fined by the Insurance Regulatory Authority 54 million shillings. The reason I'm raising this question, Chair, is this. When the county executive, the procurement team was looking to give Trident this work, did they check, Your Excellency, about their past history? And I'm sure Honorable Governor of Uasin Gishu County, you know the history of Trident from your other life as a senator.
Chair, just on a point of order.
Yes.
You know it's important for us to make sure that whatever we do is supported by our standing orders and by the Constitution. This document is not admissible in this committee, my colleague, with all due respect, because of standing order number 55. If you read standing order number 55, it says as follows: the fact on which a request for statement is based may be set briefly, but extract from newspapers and other media or quotation from speeches shall not be admissible. So what I may suggest we do,
yes,
so that we can be able to take into consideration your submissions, is that after this meeting, you can provide this committee with information that if we feel fit, we can be able to pursue further and now interrogate those insurance companies. But when we're dealing with a matter of specificity, if it was listed in your statement, then we would be required to look into it and you'd have submitted as a document on the floor of the House. So I would like to request that we don't admit this document because our standing orders do not allow. Then you can sit down and talk to us at the committee for us to look at how we can pursue those things. Because, you know, you and I, we are frequent media people. There are things that we say there. If honestly what we say there is taken and then it's submitted in a committee as facts, we will really be doing injustice to all our witnesses. So that's my submission, Mr. Chairman.
Through you, Chair, I actually said that I wanted to introduce that document so that then we can see its admissibility. But if the recommendation is that then I give you a full report on the on the company that was given this insurance policy and its history and who were the directors and what those directors were doing in that company, I shall do it there. I agree. I have absolutely no conflict in terms of getting to the truth of this.
Okay. And let me just give direction on that. I think as per the standing order, the document is not admissible. But one question, Governor, I think what the Senator is simply asking in all this is that there are a lot of complaints from the staff that the insurance provider is not providing the services you contracted them to do. Have you received any complaints, and is there action you've taken as executive or the administrators of the contract on this matter?
Chair, I want to report here that there is no complaint on this cover. This is the only cover that every person enjoying the services they are still receiving. In the earlier times of this cover, there was a lot of politics, the usual politics. That why are we moving from NHIF? What? Even the NHIF itself, it's gone. But that's not the fact. The truth be told is that the cover my people they are using at the moment is among the best covers I can ascertain. There is no complaint as we are talking right now, Chair.
Yeah, Chair.
If there is, therefore we can. I'm better informed. Who are those, and what is their? Otherwise, Chair.
Chair, point of order. His Excellency is passing aspersions on individuals who he says he knows.
Senator.
Yes.
Chair,
Senator Ledamo.
may I suggest that in the interest of justice, where the senator has presented to this committee that there are complaints, that maybe the senator tables the complaints to this committee, where we need to know the name of the person, whatever. And then also, Governor, maybe in your Department of Health, you carry out an advisement and say that if anyone goes to the hospital and has got an issue, you set up a complaint mechanism. Now, there's a lot of government departments, including one, the Communication Authority of Kenya. When it issues licenses to broadcasters, it requires the broadcasters to go out there and announce that if you ever have a complaint on any broadcast, please call this number and register your complaint, so that we can balance the two. Because you know, the challenge, Governor, is that we know we are politicians and politics can get in the way. And maybe sometimes the truth might be there. I will be very honest with you that today, a lot of people are complaining that when they go to hospitals, NHIF is not acceptable. You go with your NHIF card, you are told by hospital, we will not take because NHIF is not paying. That is a matter which we know in this committee. So in the interest of justice and to be able to balance that, Governor set up a complaint mechanism so that you can discover whether there are any complaints that are going to the senator without you knowing.
Thank you very much. I think let me give guidance on that matter. That the senator for Kisii provide the complaints so that when we write to the governor, he can respond. Meantime, the governor can do what Senator Ledama is suggesting. I would really want to say, Governor, that you know when you are administering this insurance scheme, it can never be 100%. There must be some flaws. There can no way there can become. Sometimes the systems are down. It is not that the insurance is not working, but somebody can go to the hospital, the online system is not working, and they will complain for that day. But generally the system is working. So I think let's allow the senator to provide if there evidence, and that evidence, if one senator provides and there are your staff, that shall not be used to discipline or to do any other thing. That information shall not be used against the staff. Senator Onyonga?
Chair, that is true. In fact, the document I wanted to table was the Insurance Regulatory Authority Insurance Industry Quarterly Claim Statistics for the period of January to March 2024. The report is here on that insurance company and what its obligations are and how it's performed. So I shall table that, Chair, and I agree with your ruling.
Yeah, okay. One matter, Governor, in your insurance, the contract was actually signed on 4th of December 2023, and it was commencing on 1st December. I don't know which one comes first. There's a problem there, Governor.
That's something that I have to look at.
And when you finish, I want the procurement person. There were a number of procurement officers here. Who's the procurement officer from the county?
I don't have the person here.
Oh, okay. These are all from KTRH?
KTRH.
Okay. Governor, proceed.
Chair, that one I have not, I think I've not seen it. I have to look at it, then I'll respond.
It's actually in your document, page 68 and 77. If you look at 68, where the agreement is being witnessed, and page 77.
Chair, given that I'm with my CC Finance, he can respond on this.
CC Finance? Give him the mic.
Thank you, Chair. I'm drawing you to page 65. Chair, on page 65, there is an award when it was given. This was on 28th of November. So the contract was signed prior, after the award, which is as per procurement rules. So the contract follows the award. First you give the award, then you wait for 14 days, the waiting period, then you sign the contract. That's why the days of the contract signing, they seem to be closer and the commencement.
When I see you, why are you trying to CC Finance? Why are you trying to confuse us? You know, just look at your document. The award was in that November agreed. Our question is on the commencement of the contract, when the staff of county government of Kisii was beginning to benefit from the cover. The contract was signed on 4th of December. But it commenced earlier before the contract was signed. So don't you think there's a problem there? How did the staff of the county know that there is a cover?
Through you, Chair.
Yes, Senator Wanyonka.
Just like you made a ruling and I accept your ruling, Honorable Bincha used to be the head and the MD of Trident Insurance. That is why he would know that information. And I have the evidence to prove that.
Just on a point of order, you know,
Senator,
if you allow me. The information that is being presented by Senator Wanyonka could lead us to really trying either a fishing expedition to find out whether this person was, or if indeed this gentleman was given an opportunity to declare any interest. on this matter. Because then, if you did not declare any interest, that will complicate even the responses. Because the question that the chair is asking is a question of importance. Why is it that the insurance commences before it is signed? Is it something which is provided for in your law that you can be able to backdate? And then the question is that how do people know? But there is the issue of that conflict of interest which Senator Onyonka has raised, which bothers me. And I don't know what in our standing order legal, what it says, because you're supposed to declare that conflict of interest if it arises. So do you wish to declare that conflict of interest now?
Senator Ledama, you are certainly out of order in that matter. And I think, let us also be, benefit from my experience as a governor, and not just a governor, also as a procurement expert. That, the CEC Finance was an employee and is free. He is free to be employed anywhere and elsewhere at any other given time. The insurer or the business person is free to seek business from anywhere and anywhere else. I don't think that is of any material to the question we are asking. I think the
point of order,
CC Finance.
Point of order,
Chair. A minute, Senator Onyonka.
I would not wish you to take that direction. This is a house where we provide information, and you cannot argue for them. Chair, it's better for you to let them, and I have utmost respect for you. And I'm not saying that this information could be true or not. I'm just tabling a document which I'm willing. Chair.
Senator Onyonka.
Yes.
Let me also give you guidance as a chair.
Thank you, Chair.
When you bring or raise a statement, you are supposed to stick to the materials of the statement. In your statement, Senator Onyonka, there was no mention or ask of whether there was conflict or on the question of procurement process. Chair, your issue was on the services being rendered by the insurer. If we go the direction you want to take this committee to, you are leading us into a fishing expedition, which we as a committee are not willing to. If, Senator Onyonka, you are not satisfied with that, raise a substantive statement on the procurement process of this service by the county government of Kisii, and we shall address the procurement processes of how it was procured. In this instance, you only raise the matter of service.
Can I respond?
Senator Onyonka.
Chair, you are the one who raised the issue of how did this thing become the way it is, and I was helping you. But the ruling is correct. I will table a substantive motion discussing the procurement of this insurance company and vis-a-vis the players and the stakeholders in this. Thank you, Chair.
That's in order. So, CC Finance, tell us that bit of the contract, because you are the person who is responsible for procurement as a function.
Chair.
Just hold on 1 minute. CC, proceed.
Chair, I've noted the error. I wish to request for more time to be able to clarify the committee. I cannot be able to bring it now because it was not brought to my attention earlier. Thank you, sir.
You have noted the error. So, that means the contract is defective. And that means the insurer is benefiting from 4 days of the service. And if that contract ends in the dates that are in the contract, they will rob the staff of Kisii County 4 days of service. So it's not enough to note. You go and work on your documentation to correct the error. Because you know, on a single day, if staff go to sick, and you never know when you become sick, maybe the last 4 days is when one staff gets sick and they need a service. It is extremely important that that is rectified. Any other matter on the insurance? I'd asked the question. And Senator Onyonga said he's going to provide the complaints. He's going to provide the complaints. I would like to know who in the county government of Kisii is administering the contract day to day, liaising with the insurance provider and the staff whenever there are issues. Who is administering that process?
Chair, the person who is on day-to-day business of this particular is an HR person. Therefore, it's the person who liaises with the insurance at any given time. Even when there is a claim that it has not been met, they normally have to communicate to resolve any other hindrances or ahead of treatment in a hospital.
Thank you. Any other matter on that issue? Senator Onyonka?
Me, I think, Chair, we are okay, so long as we have a way forward. Thank you, sir.
Senator Chimera? Good. Esi? Senator Esi? Senator Amida?
No, just advise maybe Governor for the integrity of the county. Maybe they need to, pursue this matter, the number one issue, so that at least just to be seen to have made efforts, so that at least we at PAN, we all want to understand, because this is a global fund, equipments, and of course they were provided into your county, so at least you may want to understand exactly what the issue was and where where the staff were taken, whatever was done, because it seems like it has taken a bit too long, the issue. So maybe you may need to pursue.
Senator Newton.
Chair, just maybe to emphasize on what Senator Amida said. Let the guards at the gate maintain a good record of whatever comes into the hospital and whatever leaves. Because had that record been there, then we wouldn't have spent so much time on number one, Chair. And so it's important whether it is property that belongs to the hospital or anything coming in and anything going out, there should be a record. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, I thought we were responding to question number 4, but it appears like we're making closing remarks. Allow me.
We have already responded to question number 4.
Okay. Can I make my remarks, Chair, with your kind permission?
I will allow you, but please, next time, pay attention.
Chair, I was busy getting impressed with the Governor. He's brought in a fairly young team, and I'm very happy that I'm seeing many young men and women of this country working for the county government of Kisii. In the Senate today, representing.
Have you seen any women?
There is one there.
I'm
very attentive, Chair.
I was asking Senator Chimera for confirmation. Why proceed, Senator Chimera.
Like what my colleague Joe Nutri is saying, Governor, I think you need to have a proper kind of record system so that these issues, I really took offense when a whole governor appears before us and tells us he's not so sure that there's a record. So I hope when you go back to Kisii, you will work on that. And the other issues raised on these insurance issues, I think there's a way forward. And I hope we'll be able to clarify those ones, Bwana CEO, Bwana CC. Asante. Karibu sana. Kuja Nairobi leo.
Chair, I just thought I should maybe just say something because that's my county of origin.
As Chimera reminded you something?
Yes. No, I thought I should say something because that's my county of origin. Governor, this exercise is just meant to also ensure that there is smooth running of the government generally and also help us do our oversight work much better. Thank you.
County of origin, so you are on migration. Okay. Senator Onyonga. Now, we have gone back again. We had already finished with your tourism. We have started. Okay. Senator Onyonga.
Chair, I hope these are our closing remarks. Yes. Thank you. Your Excellency Governor, thanks for coming. You know, I have worked with you. I supported you. My agenda in whatever that we're trying to do, sir, is to make sure that your county runs well, to make sure that KTRH runs as a clean health facility which has got water, which has got medicines, which has got bed sheets, which has got everything you know. So the reason why I personally am raising these issues is because the public and your workers talk to me. And they don't mean to be against you. They want you to fix the place so that they work comfortably. That is really how I would want you to have a look at this interrogation. Finally, Chair, I think for me, I want to thank the health community and the support that you've given these questions. And I know we sit in other committees trying to configure all these things. I want to say that I shall provide the evidence and all the information that is needed once we ask the question substantively. And I want to thank you, Chair, and the whole team. Madam Amida, thank you so much. And Honorable Nyutu, thank you for being here. And my sister, Ezio Kenyuri, and my BFF, Mr. Chimera. Thank you so much, Chair.
Senator Ledamo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Governor, thank you for coming. I find it a bit difficult when you're asked to explain questions when you do not have information. I think for query number 1 and 2, it would be important for us to be clear whether those equipment had been transferred to the hospital or to the county government, or they were still in the hands of the contractors, so that we can differentiate. Because when we leave that thing hanging like that, it doesn't bring closure. Because if people say Global Fund equipments were lost, then everyone wonders whether all the other equipments in the hospital are safe. So I think it is important to differentiate whether it is a matter that affects Kisii County or it's a matter that is still with their contractor. And maybe you will clarify that in your closing remarks to assist us in terms of report writing. I just want to comment on 2 issues. One has to do with KEMSA pending bills. This committee gave a direction that KEMSA not to supply, and if they dare not, to any hospital or to any county that owes them 30 days and above. I'm told that with the pending bill of about 59 million, you've reduced it by almost 40 million, which is good. I hope that the remaining balance can clear by the end of the financial year. The second issue that I want to comment on is on a motion that we passed, and I thank the Senate for supporting me on that motion, on pending bills. The Senate passed a motion by delegation, so it's binding, that all county government should pay their pending bills up to 1 billion shillings by the end of this financial year, failure to which the Controller of Budget shall not release money to the county governments. We are proceeding to court to ensure that that thing is put under, I think, Article 259, where when a matter is subject to a particular body and that body moves and a resolution on it, it must be binding. So I'd like to encourage you to ensure that we don't have to wait for the court to be able to put a big rubber stamp on the decision of the Senate, because then it will be very detrimental to the development of your county. So to try as much as possible to stop any further development, and I hope by now you have received communication from the clerk. If not, please let us know in terms of the payment of pending bills. Otherwise, I thank you and I wish you all the best, and say hello to our people of Kisii.
Governor, as I give you to make some comments, one more final question, and probably it's the CEO of KTRH. To the best of your knowledge, are there pharmaceutical suppliers to KTRH whom you owe payments for more than 6 months, now that you're an independent institution? And what plans do you have to pay them?
Thank you, Honorable Chair and members. It's a question that I need to go back and check, because we do aging analysis of our debts. And
before you go back to check, you have your procurement person here. Where is the procurement? You know all payments also start and end in procurement, eh? So are there people you have not paid because you are the one who has procured? Their payments have been pending for more than 6 months.
Chair, thank you for this opportunity. Yes, we always do an aging analysis of all the bills, but any pending is maybe which has maybe which are not been given, maybe credit notes which have not been fully supported. That is the response. Thank you.
Governor, remarks.
Chair, thank you. You know, I'm happy. Once in 10 years I was in Parliament, and indeed we did this exactly what you are doing. Therefore, I'm happy. I used to cross-examine witnesses who used to come before our committees. I'm happy that this is happening, and I'm taking it positively. I wish my brother Onyonka is here. I would wish him to bring as many of these questions, so that lapse where people may not be understanding what is happening, therefore there is an explanation. If this is the best forum for our people to understand what is going on, so be it. Therefore, I'll ask that these questions, as many as they will appear before the Senate, and will answer the questions that we have been asked. Chair, to be told is that I've been trying to fix that health department, as it were. There were many lapses that we are trying to fix, up to including even the KTRH itself. I'm a proud person today that KTRH, save for these people who went on strike, Chair, is now a functioning facility. As I'm talking, we just advertised, for around 200 vacancies in that facility. I may surprise you, the applicants is around 8,000 who have applied for various positions that we have, because we wanted again to bridge the gap of that facility to run optimally. For pending bills, and as it were, we are not taking that yes, we'll handle the issue of pending bills, as long as most of those pending bills, they're eligible. Because most of the things which have been happening there, most of the people, even those ones who are claiming to be owed money, some, they don't have paperwork. And finally, if I paid, I'll appear before the Senate, ask Simba, why did you pay when you knew that these people did not have the paperwork, which one required as per the law. Otherwise, I'm happy. Again, I don't know when you require me here. I'll come. I'll come before the Senate and I want to thank you, the Senate, because of the negotiations you had for the counties. More money is required down there. For my county, wage bill is around 63 now. Therefore, development it may be having a problem. But again, we want to thank you for the advocacy you put in place for the county's allocation that we are going to receive. Otherwise, Chairman, thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me give the following direction. One, CEO KTRH, you are to provide a record of the equipment that was received for us to be able to sort on what the contractor is doing. We want the name of the contractor and the contacts. Senator Onyonga should submit the complaints he says he has to this committee. We are asking that, Governor, you make sure you pay all those, at least all the pending bills for KEMSA, and ensure that the suppliers with verified pending bills are also paid. If there are any additional information, we shall definitely write to you to submit. CEC Finance, with a very big caution, ensure the contracts you submit to the governor to sign are properly read and proofread, so that you don't put your governor in an awkward position. I know there is always a tendency for the staff to say, after all, the governor is the one who is going to appear. For my committee, we can choose not to ask the governor to appear and ask you to appear, and we deal with you as the officer responsible for that function. So we all must understand that we have a responsibility, and we must discharge our responsibility with utmost diligence. With that, this meeting stands adjourned. Thank you very much, Governor, and your team for coming. Asanteni sana.
Thank you.
Yes, of course, we have the Senate Governor for Isiolo. Chimera, can you take